Hi guys, welcome to my page. This is your girl Nico Nicole, and you are here for Tuesdays with Nico. So if you guys were here last time, you guys know that I came up with the Tuesdays with Nico on a previous kick page called Pretty Politico. So if you guys want to watch anything related to political content, you can find me there. I do have a notebook, so you will be seeing me look down. I have my handy dandy notebook. If you guys coming from my Pretty Political page, you know, if you know what that means. So when I first started doing my live streams, I would have my Barbie notebook. And eventually my husband started supporting me in this journey. So he purchased me this new actual iPad Air, which I now call my handy dandy notebook. So I do have a bunch of notes here. So if you see me looking down, that is what I'm looking at. Okay, guys? And I'm also looking down to see and make sure that I'm filming and recording on YouTube and also on my restream so that everything is um in in um in sync. So let's just get right into it. As I mentioned before, my name is Nico Nicole, and this is Give This Girl a Mic. Welcome to my page, guys. We deal with everything pop culture related. We were filming this on the 19th, but it was supposed to come out on the 16th, Tuesday. But baby girl had to make gingerbread at school, so baby, we was making gingerbread at school. So I delayed this podcast until the end of the week, or this live to the end of the week, whatever we're calling these things nowadays. Um, and so that's why we're hopping on a little late. So I just wanted to say welcome, and we go live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. I tell the truth with love, but don't test me because I'm close to the edge. First things first, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so far. That really helps the channel grow, and I'm really trying to make this community where we all can, come together and talk about our favorite things in pop culture and et cetera, et cetera. Now I do video edits too, and as you guys can see, my first shorts. I just want to say thank you for getting my views to 1 million. I got the Kanye West video finally hit 1 million views, and I'm so proud of myself. Yay! Class around, proud of us. Class around the board. So you guys are really into that. I have another cool clip that I want to put out, but I haven't been wanting a man to come get me, so I've been kind of keeping it low key and cool. So I haven't put out anything crazy, but I do have some fun stuff on the way. So keep looking out for my shorts. Keep supporting my shorts. I appreciate it. There's also a short I put up of the I don't know you, man. That one is only got like 4 views. So if you guys can go watch that video, run that one up too, because the shorts also help bring community to my page. And that's the whole thing I'm trying to build here is community with love. So I also just wanted to say that please put a pair of jeans in the community tab under my last post. So I just posted that I hit a million, and I just want everybody, if you've seen this video, if you've seen my post, to put a pair of jeans for the genius that is Kanye West with his whole mess. We'll get into that. Put that in the comments below. And again, while I love shorts and they are fun to make, my main focus is finding the intersection of motivation and self-improvement through laughter, joy, and hope. And we do that here by discussing pop culture and other hot topics. My act of service is speaking truth to power. My hope is that the smiles we share will brighten up your day and inspire you to do what you are called to do. That's all I'm here for. If you'd like to support the channel, you can contribute here at this little sign, Nico Nicole. That is my Cash App. So if you guys want to continue to help me build quality, get quality mics, quality camera, quality lighting, things like that, I would appreciate it. And just kind of just come here and make more time for the editing process. I would appreciate that. If you guys want this to be my full-time job, you know, hit that below and help your girl out. For business inquiries, please email me at givethisgirlamike.com. That's my email address. You can email all inquiries there. So thank you for joining me. Now that the business out of the way, again, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started. Let's just jump into the fun. Last week we were a little bit heavy, so this week we're gonna keep it light, and we're gonna start with Real Housewives of Potomac. So y'all, Giselle got herself a man this week. His name is Namse, and he's very handsome. And let me tell you, she really liked those milk duds, you know, those tall, dark, handsome, Morris Chestnut looking men. That is her bag. So it makes sense because usually those kind of girls do like the opposite, and the opposite men like those kind of girls. So they kind of actually look really good together. But Jadelle don't like that man because she said he too nice. So I personally feel like, look, you already had a certain type of guy. You already went for the gangster. You went for the thug. Try the nice guy. Give the nice guy a try. So hopefully she sticks around with this guy. But she said she like him rough around the edges. But I said maybe it's time for a nice guy. That said, I feel like the new man does have a little bad boy edge. Low key though, low key he has a bad boy edge. You can see it because he really smooth. Like you gotta either you kind of got to know those kind of guys. Like he was hanging out in Miami. He seemed like a Will Smith kind of guy. Like he might not come off presenting as the bad boy, but he kind of got a little something to it. We gonna go over that because I have Will Smith book, and I already wrote all these notes on it from when I read it, and I never did a live or even talk to you guys about the Will Smith book. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get back on there and I'm gonna tell them everything that I wrote down in that book. And it was a beautiful book in regards to his life experiences, the quotes, the things he went through. And I just want to hash that book out completely because it was one of my favorite books that that I read in a long time. And some of the recommendations of books that he gave within that book, like The Alchemist, I went on to read that as well. So I will give you guys some like life lessons that I learned from Will Smith. You know, I read the book pre him, you know, smacking Chris Rock, but still, it's still a really good read if you guys are like avid readers like I am. So what else is new? Let's check it out. So I also mentioned Mia a bit. I was watching it and I just said, you know, Mia, girl, I'm over her, honey. I'm so sick of Mia. She's good TV, but I'm sick of seeing her on the show, just in general. Like to me, Mia's the kind of girl where she is getting really cozy with the producers off camera. Like she's having wine with them. She's going in their house. She's buying them stuff. And she's just one of those people. But I just need a break from her personally because the lies, the bringing Gordon's mental health into it when she doesn't take life too serious, which is something I'm sure the producers love about her because she brings a little bit of charismatic personality to the thing. And then with Karen leaving, they do need a strong anchor personality that can go toe to toe with Giselle. And I say it's Karen leaving. We'll get into that. You guys know. If you guys know, you guys know. But with Karen possibly leaving, there may be an opening for a personality like Mia's. But it also, where if Mia becomes the true lead of the show, it will take the show in a different trajectory, and it will no longer be the show that we know and love, which I kind of am a little bit sad about because it is one of those shows that is aspirational. It was supposed to be aspirational, and now it's just like downtrodden. And I don't really like that. And I feel a little sad for the direction of the show. And I also feel like the show is for a particular type of man right now. I don't think the show is made for the female gaze. I think it's made for the male gaze and a certain particular male gaze. If you know, you know. That's what I personally feel. A man that may like women, but also likes theatrics, drama, and all that stuff. Because if you know what women have been watching Days of Our Lives for umpteenth years. We like drama, of course, but it can be slow, brewed, like suspenseful drama. We don't need you bringing balloons to cause and stir up drama every single episode. We like that drama that like lingers, and then kind of like that's why people like Lena Waithe is so good with her show The Shy, because she doesn't give you all the stuff in all the episodes. She gives you little bits and pieces like a murder mystery, and then at the end you get this big crescendo. That's what women like, because we like to figure things out. But if you give us all the meat and potatoes like it's WWE match, like they do in male sports, like males like it now, like they like gratification. They like hard work and instant gratification. Women like things to take slow, brew, and then grow over time. So that's what you see happening with the Housewives franchises. There are men taking over, and they're giving themselves instant gratification by watching women in a way that they perceive and deem women to be, not in the actualization of what women are. Because if they had more women particularly y'all want to hire me, particularly me. If y'all have more women on your producing line, you'd be able to tell more thorough stories about what Jacqueline is going through in her relationship and things like that in relation to her pregnancy, and not just the theatrics of her. Because a real woman would never put Jacqueline in that situation to have her pregnant and endangering herself for a scene. Only a man would do that. It's not women don't do that to other women, especially during pregnancy. And a producer put that in her ear and told her to come. So, but that is putting stress on her baby. A woman would never do that. So you guys find it funny, but we don't find it funny because we know what pregnancy does to the body. And it being hormonal and out of her mind, and then being on this attack of Karen, and then knowing what Karen is going through, that should have been the direction of the show. Knowing, and you guys probably seen these tapes because you had to prepare for it, knowing the severity of alcoholism and things, you guys should have gave Karen an ultimatum. You either come correct or you don't come on the show this season. So there's a lot of things that women would do that the men and the producers of the show are allowing it to be like something that is upheld properly. So there's just little stuff that I noticed. I'm sorry. It's so funny how when you get on camera, your nose start itching. Mine does. Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna be right back. Okay. All right, so I'm back. So yeah, so that kind of stuff and those type of antics for women can be extremely detrimental to their health, their mental health, and their well-being. And so I understand not wanting to put Karen out there in that capacity because it will further embarrass her in certain ways. But there is a line that has to be drawn about what is proper etiquette and what we want to represent for the show and what is just unacceptable. And Karen's behavior on that show and being able to gloss over everything that she was going through was really unacceptable. That's something a woman would not do. And there's a lot of little things like that I watch on the show that show what men represent and feel about us rather than what we see ourselves as. And that to me is part of the problem because you guys aren't showing us in the totality of who we actually are. Make sure I'm still live, guys. Oh yeah, I am. Okay. Now, let's get to the next topic. All right. Let's get into the Karen of it all. The elephant in the MF room. Okay. So, I personally feel that Karen, that's my girl. But, it was hard to watch. She probably needs a year off from the show, personally, if you ask me. And I feel like she can take a year or two off and just come back better than ever. Kind of like Teresa did when she had to do her stint, or Jen Shaw, I'm sure, is going to have to do once she completes her sentencing. But she's a queen. Queens don't give up their seats easily. So I'm praying for her and I support her. And there's a saying that fame can be a hell of a drug. And I feel like that's what we're seeing with Karen. We're seeing her come to that crescendo of the fame and carrying the show and the pressure of it, and maybe not even being paid enough. Maybe we don't know what's going on with Ray personally and things like that. So I think when we come to Karen in that crossroads, that's what we're watching her come through a reality of who she was, who she is, and who she will be in the future. And I think it's really been really hard for her, especially with all the things she's been going through in the last, I would say, 7 years. Like, she's been carrying this show on her back, carrying her marriage on her back, carrying her family's legacy in Surrey County on her back, and carrying, her whole family on her back. And at the end of the day, some of that can be a beautiful thing that you can rise to the occasion of it. But sometimes people crumble under the pressures of that kind of magnitude of having everybody look to you as the grandiose, the grand dame of sorts. So I'm praying for Karen. I wish her luck. I am a Karen girl. I'm a Karen girl. And I feel so bad that this unfortunate situation has happened. I'm sad that she was a part of it, but I hope and I pray that she gets the help that she needs, because I think any of us girlies that are original OG Potomac people are rooting for her. That being said, speaking of original OG Potomac girlies, I thought I was, but I'm really not, because I started season 4. And I thought I started earlier than that, but I realized I didn't. So I've been going back and watching the entirety of Potomac series. So I'm starting on season 1, episode 1, and I've been tweeting about it all, or blue skying about it all. So I think that's so funny how they created Twitter, which is a bird, and then they came back and they created blue sky, and birds fly in the sky, which is like really hilarious to me. I'm sorry, guys. I just got the itchy nose. I just got to deal with it. And it only happens when I'm on camera. I swear my nose don't ever itch any other time. I don't know if it's just I don't know what it is. But it's itchy, y'all. It's itchy. It be like that sometimes. I don't know. But I'm going to let the show go on at this point because I've taken enough breaks. And we're going to get this show on the road. So, okay. So next up, outside of Karen, as I was saying, I do have a few tweets on Blue Sky that I'm recapping season 1 until on Blue Sky right now. So if you guys are interested in watching, you can watch me there, and tweet with me and see everything that I have and all my opinions on Karen and all the girls of Potomac and all the mess that's going on. So we're wishing the ladies luck, praying for my girl Karen, but those videos were extremely damning, and it was just sad to see. I hate to see my girl like that, but it is what it is. The show will go on, and I just hope that she gets the help she needs. So now we got the fun stuff out the way, because y'all know I didn't want to start heavy every week. I've been going in, and that's the crazy thing. I didn't intend to start talking about Jay-Z. It just, as I was going on to my live last week, boom, all that news came out. I was going to talk about something completely different. I was going to talk about DEI. And we're going to get into that because I still need to talk about that and let y'all know. But now let's get into the skeletons of it. Let's get into it. So Jay-Z has some skeletons in his closet. And even though I'm rooting for my boy, it's looking a little bit tough. But I did see right before I got on here that they are suing Busby now. And they have 4 lawsuits against him for the same kind of thing. And I think the thing about this whole like being a lawyer thing is, if you're going to be a lawyer, you really have to have clean hands. It's going to be extremely hard to be in this business if you got some dirt on your hand. And them kind of lawyers, if you ever watched that show The Wire back in the day, you know them kind of lawyers be the dirtiest ones. They follow the money, honey. And when you're in a business that, like these guys are in the business with these big powerhouses, you know that the big bucks is not being paid because they just want to be around entertainers. No, the big bucks are paid to keep the secrets, because the power is in the secret, baby. That's what this all about. Who can hold my secrets and who can defend my secrets the best? And they're doing that. So with Jay-Z, there's been a lot of swirling about Jay-Z lately. I've been watching videos unpacking it all. The biggest thing I've learned was saying no to Roc Nation is a big no. Easily the most notable that have been allegedly paying the ramifications of saying no is Tory Lanez. So we can go down the whole list of what's going on with Tory Lanez, but what I will sum it up is he owns his own masters and publishing, but he didn't want to give them up to Roc Nation. After that, his life flipped upside down. Arrests, lawsuits, and more. Just this week, Megan Thee Stallion put out a restraining order against him. And that is the one person that is a key person that has been going, against Jay-Z and Roc Nation. And then his dad, after he got that 10-year sentence, his dad said, Jay-Z, Des Perez, and called them all out, allegedly saying that they are responsible for the arrest of their son with no fingerprints and things like that. So this has been a big time coming. Thank you for the thumbs up. This has been a long time coming with some of the antics that Roc Nation has been doing, and it's all crumbling down right now. Another person that is notable that also kind of was said to reap the ramifications of saying no was Young Dolph. You guys remember him. He stayed independent, and we all know what happened. Rest in peace to Young Dolph. Another person, famous rapper that refused to deal with Roc Nation was XXXTentacion. He refused to deal. He held on to his master, and he ended up being killed during a robbery. Yeah, because that's how they deal with you when you say no at Roc Nation. Another smaller known rapper was Nasty C. And another one is called La Russell. Both stood their ground and struggled in different ways. to maintain their independence. And both characters, one is from South Africa and one is from here in America, but both of them ended up basically going out into oblivion. We don't know them. We don't know their music like that. Russell is still a little famous. We hear about him, but for the most part, we don't even see him anymore. Little Uzi, there's tensions there too with Roc Nation. He wanted to get out of some of his deals, but he's locked in, and I think it's kind of like if you can't beat him, join him situation. I always wonder how Solange knew JT, because I remember there was like all these pictures circulating of Solange with JT, and then Solange was like dancing. I was like, why is she? But now I get it. I didn't realize he was signed to Roc Nation. There's a whole roster. If you go look it up, Roc Nation's roster is pretty heavy. And there are people under there that I had never known were under his umbrella. Another one that you would not expect was under his umbrella was Tyler, the Creator. He's taken help on his own terms, and he remains independent. So if you are going to work with a place like Roc Nation, you're going to do it like Tyler, the Creator. Tyler talked about Jay-Z inviting him to his house, saying, sign the deal right there. And he said, no, man, I don't want to do it. And Jay-Z kind of was a little bit, not happy with it. But he said him and Jay-Z connected on a different level, where he realized that Jay-Z was kind of like a nerd, a blurred, and he connected on Jay-Z on that blurred level. So I think Jay-Z didn't take offense to him not signing with him, because he was like, all right, he's a creative in a different way. And he also still took Jay-Z's help in different ways. So Jay-Z told him, okay, well, whatever you need. Actually, the guy is named Ty Ty. Said, whatever you need, whatever you want to do, we'll do it. I just want to do something with you. And he said, all right, that's cool. I don't want to sign a deal, but I will do something with y'all in the future. And so that, to me, is a testament of still maintaining your rights, like Tyler, the Creator, but also utilizing the opportunities when you see the opportunities there. So if more people can do like business deals like that, like Tyler, the Creator, and we see how far he's been in his career with still using Roc Nation as needed. And I think that's the happiest medium you can find when it comes to the music business. The industry is just a wild place. I also was watching a video by FD Signifier. He broke down how capitalism plays into all of this. These powerhouses like Jay-Z and Diddy, they benefit from the system at the expense of others, no matter what. And so the problem with that is, when you are so wrapped, it's like what Kanye said, no one man should have all this power. When you are wrapped up into all this, you have your hands in so many jars, and come off like intimidation and like a monopoly. And when people see you as a monopoly, they want to tear you down. They want to come after you, which is what we see happening with P. Diddy right now. So, for example, back in 2016, when Lil Wayne was struggling with Cash Money, Roc Nation assisted him in the Free Weezy album. He pledged to them in 2017 in a concert in Pennsylvania. But after doing that, was still denied the Super Bowl, the biggest story of the year that has become. Speaking of the Super Bowl, and what made me think of this is Kendrick. Don't be surprised if we see Drake come out next year as some kind of MAGA, because again, once you are a certain entity and we see you backing a certain thing, the opposite effect also takes place. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Drake comes out and starts supporting Trump even more, because the people he did try to align with, which were heavily influenced by the Democratic Party, ultimately turned their back on him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he take himself and his fans and move on over. I just feel it in my bones, And to that, I say what Kendrick said. It was wolf tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down, young. These some other politics. At the end of the day, Kendrick called it. He know what it is. These some other politics. All of it is politics. Be it business and politics, be it corporate politics, whatever you want to call it, be it political politics. It's all politicking, and it's what side of the fence you on. And right now, clearly the people in power, the Republican Party, are now trying to take down the Democratic Party and whatever business associates they have involved in that. Okay. All right, so let's get into a little bit more of the turn this up like that. Let's get more into some of the things that I've been noticing about Drake. So like Drake did, the best way to operate is to use them like Drake, and also like Tyler, the Creator, did. Best way to use these entities is when you need them. And it reminds me of the idea of capitalism And when I was watching this show, um, by a YouTuber I love. His name is FD Signifier. He broke down how capitalism plays into all this. These powerhouses like Jay-Z and Diddy benefit from the system at the expense of others, no matter what. Capitalism and Black women, to me, tie hand in hand. Not only are we the ones that consume the most and buy things the most, we are also the ones that benefit from um, sharing our culture the most. And when we share our culture, it's the most consumed, the fastest consumed. So, with that being said, a lot of what we are as Black women is a direct reflection of what hip hop and pop culture is. Pop culture is us and we are them. There is no pop culture without Black women. And the signifier kind of taps on that really well. He touched on how corporations treat diversity as disposable, how diversity, equity, inclusion programs, DEI programs are getting slashed everywhere. He talked about, and I was going to tell you guys last week about companies like Starbucks and Boeing and Marriott and more, that they were never as committed as they claimed to be. And now with everything going down and the cancellation of DEI, I think they've made it very clear where their alliances last. And I think the thing about that is the very, very interesting thing about that is it kind of goes and taps into the juxtaposition of Black conservatism. And what made me think about that is Jay-Z and Diddy both tapped into Black conservatism, meaning that they believed that they were elite in Black culture, that they were better, they knew better, and that they could take us to a place that was different than a Dr. Martin Luther King, uh, any of the Black Panthers and things like that. But what they quickly learned was if you go against the big giants, you got to have the big giant money. And some of them realized that their money is not as long as they thought they was. So while they're billionaires, there are some cajillionaires out there that are ready and willing to take them down. So, for example, with respect to Jay-Z, he had the Diddy thing. He had the Diageo, and then Diddy had his own brand. And with that, he realized that even though Diageo and I guess the company he had created his own was Deleon, but he originally had a brand deal with Diageo, and they owned half of it. So he wanted to try to buy them out. And I think what he realized was he could not buy them out, and that there was a certain level in altitude that he can go within that brand because they were the suppliers, they were the creators. It's kind of reminded me of, and I put this down somewhere, it kind of reminded me of Black women when it comes to going and buying hair, right? They'll let us buy their Mongolian wavy Indian Remy as much as we possibly can. But what we can't do is be the supplier of those chains. We cannot have our own Black beauty supply stores. They don't exist because they will not buy from us. They will not sell to us. So we are only an entity to be able to contribute in a certain way to that culture. But if we can't provide any additional things like commercialism, they don't want any parts of us to be associated with their business or their brands. They don't want us to have our own piece of the pie. They've taken it, and we are only there as consumers, not there as partners. And I think that's something that they learned. Diddy and Jay-Z both, they learned, because Jay-Z's partnership with the NFL was essentially about liquor. So, and I got this from 50 Cent. Essentially, in his interview, he was talking about how he did an interview with Cameron. I think I talked a little bit about it last week. But in an interview, he discusses that he kind of usurped a deal with the NFL on his own with the Houston Rockets, and I forgot somebody in LA, a LA brand. I can't remember who. And in that deal, he went direct to sell. So he has his FM vodka and all that stuff. So he went direct to sell his products there because he realized that's what Jay-Z was doing. Jay-Z was selling his brands, I'm assuming Ace and things like that. I don't know what other brands Jay-Z has, but he was selling those brands directly to the NFL. As I was saying, so Jay-Z, what he decided to do was he had business deals with the NFL directly. It was direct to consumer. And then he was so powerful in the industry that they gave him his own little sideline that he can go in and help the industry kind of make things cool, make the liquor cool. And that's the same thing that Diddy had the business with Ciroc. He made Ciroc so cool that when they first started, did I write it down? I don't think I wrote the numbers, but it was about, I want to say they said they were making about 40 million a year, and he tripled it or quadrupled it to $200 million a year, something astronomical like that. And that's how powerful Diddy was in that business. So when he came to the point of wanting to create a business for his own self, they said, no, 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 you can't. They allowed him to do it as long as they got 50%. When he wanted to come back in and buy them out, they said, no, 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 you cannot do that. You're not going to be able to buy us out. So that's kind of where he hit his brick wall. And then he sued them for racial discrimination, which is really interesting because Byron Allen is doing the same thing with McDonald's right now. And I'm like, I don't know if he should be doing that. I don't know if he should be suing McDonald's because it kind of, when you sue the big corporations like that, it kind of, it doesn't end well for them. Like, look how it ended for Diddy, and then looks how it's ending for Jay-Z. He sued somebody recently too for discrimination. And I think when you sue them for discrimination, they come back and they don't no longer just stop. They will try to find any and every dirt about you now. They're gonna look for the dirt and try to, and the thing about those, if I remember the caveat in those lawsuits, if they can find dirt on you that dismantles your contract, they don't have to pay you anything. And I've been noticing a lot of discrimination contracts like that. And also, T.I. was sued for OMG Girls, but his lawsuit was much different because it was on likeness, because the OMG Girls came out so far before the Bratz dolls. So his was kind of like, without a shadow of a doubt, you could see the influence there. Whereas with Byron Allen, I think his name is Byron Allen, suing McDonald's is a little different because he has to prove the discrimination. And discrimination is just something that's really hard to prove, especially with this day and age. I think discrimination is as hard to prove as SA. It's something that is like my word against your word. And unless you have like documented intent for discrimination, it's going to be something that's always going to be hard, extremely difficult to prove. All right, what is up next? So I think I have my point on that. So again, I mentioned that even in media, Black women are disrespected and misrepresented, especially on reality shows. Shows like Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, and Love Island thrive on the exploitation of Black women. Juicy, another YouTube favorite, recently did a video on this. She pointed out the pattern of abuse, behavior, and unfair representation. Until these shows treat Black women with care and respect, we as viewers need to take our power back. And this really made me think about that because the Diddy of it all and things like this, all this stuff, all their success, and that's what FD Signifier talked about, is on the backs of Black women. Remember Nelly and that song, It Might Be, but it ain't your face. I need a picture. Y'all remember that song? So that song catapulted what the industry we see now, the Sexy Reds of it all, the Megan Thee Stallions of it all. While women are taking back their sexuality and their power, it's still the foundation of hip hop, the foundation of Black media is predicated on the sexualization of the Black woman. And that is something that we really have to think about. And also nowadays, they're taking the hip hop culture of that, using Black women for monetization, and they're using it now in reality TV shows. So if you watch a show like Love is Blind, where the women are really tormented on that show, and you watch a show like Love Island, where those women weren't supposed to be successors, but no matter, and despite the odds, they came out on top. Shout out to PPG. Those things are not the supposed to be regular. Those are the anomaly. What they want to show of the representation on Black media, like Married at First Sight, like Love is Blind, like Love Island, is a downtrodden, depressed Black woman. That is what sells on TV. Okay, and I wrote here that there's a book called Big Magic. And in the book, they speak about if you don't create an idea, the idea will jump off of you and go to somebody else, and go to somebody else, and they call it a genius. Again, this episode should be called Genius because we talk about Cayenne's genius, and we're also talking about Elizabeth Gilbert and her genius. So a genius has to be created. It has to be in the world, and the genius will go into different people that they believe can create the idea. But if you don't create the idea, the genius will leave you and go to somebody else. That is Juicy to me. She created the episode on YouTube that happened to me, that I literally saw in my mind. And the episode encompassed everything that I've been thinking about when in terms of reality TV and dating shows. Juicy calls out dating shows that hate Black women and how they are treated unfairly and represented poorly. Now, if you guys know me in real life, you guys know that I love Love Island and I love dating shows. And I've had this topic in my mind for a long time, but Juicy does such a beautiful job of breaking it down. So you guys should go to Juicy's site and watch that video. It's amazing. Finish watching this one first. So, I said, when I saw her video, I said, okay, genius, I hear you. I watched Juicy's take, and I just wanted to add my two piece of the biscuits to it. So let's get started. Let's talk about Married at First Sight. So the main plot to me at Married at First Sight, if you guys don't know what that show is when the couples meet on the wedding night for the first night and they get married. And every single episode since I've ever been watching, the Black couple and the Black woman is treated so horrifically. Okay, the main plot line is the harm and exploitation of Black women. They have no respect for Black women, especially Black women who have a typically phenotypical Black dark skin and are phenotypical features. They are treated so poorly on that show. Okay. And again, I'm sorry, guys. I guess some kind of allergies is going on right now. This have never happened on camera. But to me, my mother got this saying. She said, when God started blessing, the devil started messing. And let me tell you, this show today, if I wasn't doing all of this, would be so good. And it's still good. I'm happy y'all rocking with me. But I mean, it was exceptional. But this is kind of throwing me off a little bit myself. And I'm apologizing for it. But what we're going to do, like I said in the beginning, we're going to keep on keeping on. So I don't know why this is happening, but I know when the devil starts messing with you like this, it's because you on the right path and God wants you to show up the way you're supposed to show up. Because I wasn't able to show up on Tuesday, and the devil is messing with me today. And I see you, devil. I see you, Satan. But I'm not going to let you stop no show. I'm not. Okay. So Juicy dives into the abuse of Black women on Love is Blind DC. And she also discussed Love Island, and she conjects it, which I really like. She does like this connection between Love is Blind DC and Love Island season 6, and the harm that it does to Black women and the harm that came out of that for Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women, and how they were mistreated on both of those shows. But she also talks about how no one was prepared for PPG. Again, like I said, shout out to PPG. No one was prepared for PPG. They came out on top. And so because they flourished, not only during filming, but also after filming, it made the show just this beautiful, homogenous, like set in place for Black culture, for Black people. And shout out to whoever raised little Cordell. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Cordell, because he really brought a new faith and a love to Black women that we've never seen on TV. Without Cordell, that show would not have been the same. Without Cordell, that show would have went down the same pathways that every other show that disrespects Black women. But the way Cordell showed up for us is the way we pray and hope Black men would show up for us. The way that 50 Cent didn't show up for us when he went on to Andrew's show. The way Charlamagne the God did not show up for Black women when he went onto the show. The way Cordell, that little boy, showed up for Black women on that show, showed up for Serena on that show. Shout out to Cordell. His mama did a great job. So let's talk about how they flourished. Not only did they do well, and despite the producer's effort to make Leah the lead of the PPG, the viewers did not. They kept Serena at the forefront. They kept Janelle at the forefront. And despite Janelle's multiple attempts, when her boyfriend came on the show, he, with his sweetness, with Cordell's realness, just made a match made in heaven for both chocolate brown skin girls. And it was just like, go guys. It was beautiful to see. So it was so beautiful that I know Dr. Umar would have been very, 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 very proud. So, because as Juicy talks about, the show is supposed to be so much focused on Taylor and RHOP, even though RHOP did so much harm to a lot of girls on the show, and Aaron did so much hurt to Taylor. The producers still were trying to push the narrative that the successful couple on the show was Taylor and Aaron when they realized that Rob wasn't nothing but an F-boy, and they could not go down that route any longer. Okay? They tried to villainize Serena over and over again because she wanted to take things slow, which is what good girls should do. And her dad is, I believe, a pastor, so she wouldn't show out on TV, as she should not. And you know, black women, most of us are conservatives. That's why the pushed agenda of the Sexy Reds and of the Megan Thee Stallions is not even a inkling of what black people are in real life. It's similar to what I was saying earlier about how Real Housewives of Potomac or all the Real Housewives franchises are not made for the female gaze. They are made for the male gaze. And just with the male gaze in mind, so is Love Island. Love Island is not made for the gaze of the black person. It's made for the white audience. So with that in mind, they were trying to push the entity that they deemed as the successful couple. I think it's also Cordell is an influential man because who his brother is, Odell Beckham. And I think because he was a man of influence and he didn't necessarily need the fame of what Love Island offered, he was able to put money to the side and focus on his desires instead of his desire for the woman instead of his desire for fame. But particularly black men usually approach the show for fame and followers. But Cordell, he did not need that. So that is what separated him. Kendall was there in a typical machismo black male character. But Cordell, being his friend, he realized that he was a lot different than Kendall, and he could not go down that route because, again, he had something to represent. He was representing his family. He was representing the Beckhams. Yeah, and I essentially say that, you know, until these shows treat black women fair, with care, with love, and receive the viewers with that same respect and love, as viewers, we need to take back our power by boycotting or not watching and not particularly tweeting or talking about these shows. The more information and the more like discussions we give to these shows, the more we're going to see the same thing. We can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, because you know what that is. That ain't nothing but crazy, and we ain't crazy. We know what they're doing is wrong, so in order to show them that what they're doing is wrong, we have to show up for ourselves by not showing up for those things. My final thoughts. The lessons of this week is to stay away from liquor houses. I'm looking at you, Diddy and Jay-Z. I'm looking at y'all. They are not for us. Just like the beauty industry keeps black women away from ownership, the liquor industry wants to keep black people away from making more money than they can. And because their biggest customer a lot of times is the black community. Because, you know, in every black community, there is a liquor store next to a church, and they want to keep it that way. Okay? Also, I'm tired of black women having to prove ourselves constantly. It's exhausting. Like Beyonce showing up with those RIAA numbers, we already have to remind ourselves of our greatness. Enough is enough. We don't have to keep reminding the world of our greatness. They already know who we are. So that's one thing I want us to ease away from. And I posted this time and time again on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Blueski. I posted that what I want for us to do is focus on ourselves in 2025. Because what you see is happening is there will be an attack on black women. There will be more negative press, more negative media about black women, because you know why? We are in the 92%. So we've made our stance crystal clear. So if you're not with them, you're against them. And at the end of the day, they've already put us in a certain category. So it is what it is. So I don't want you guys to engage in the negativity. I want it to lay dormant and lay silent. Like that whole thing the other day that I saw with the young boy. What was his name? I want to say it was Travis. I can't remember his name. It's a little boy that basically we got into it with him about his girlfriend being a light-skinned black girl. Travis something is a young boy. Let me look up his name. I can't remember what his name is. Travis. Is it Travis Hunter? Travis Hunter is his name. So he got into it the other day with all of social media about not marrying, being engaged to a white girl, but the girl ended up being biracial. Showed her mama is more chocolate than me, honey, and so she black. Y'all can't call her not black now, especially if it's the one drop move in America. And I know y'all keep saying we need to get away from the one drop rule, but it's on the books. It's literally the law. You can get away from the law all you want to, but it is still the law. We don't make the laws. We just abide by them. You feel me? So if you want to change the law, you need to go try to get on that Supreme Court and change the law. Until then, the one drop rule is on the books and still exists. So considering where she is and that she's an American, she is a black girl. And y'all have to just accept it. And I mean, be happy we got one. At least you got a black mama. Somebody black in the family benefiting. Could be worse. I'm okay with it. I don't know what's y'all problems. And I think as black women, we need to just be tired of those conversations. Aren't you all tired? Aren't y'all tired of the red pill talk? I know I am. And speaking of Beyonce and her RIA numbers, there's so much going on with her right now. I got my eyes on her moves. This woman, she never stops. She's so inspiring. But I think there is going to be a conversation around her innocence and all this, which I'm not looking forward to as a beehiver. But, you know, we got to go down that rabbit hole because of who she attached herself to. And this is why people like Shira 7 always tells you to be mindful of who you attach yourselves to. I'm pretty sure Shira considers Jay-Z a Dusty, even though he's a billionaire. Dusty's come in shapes and all shapes and sizes. So just be mindful of the men you are bringing into your life because they can either lift you up or bring you down. Finally, I did a deep dive into Aaliyah's legacy and how she's remembered today versus how I perceived her back in the day, based on the person who was there. So check out my threads and my blue sky. I have a whole chain dedicated to Aaliyah and how media has spent her to today versus what was going on back in my day and what the news actually was saying about her. So if you guys are interested in that, please go look that up. And thank you so much for watching this week's episode. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the notification bell for joining me for next week. I really, truly appreciate you guys. And again, thank you so much for 1 million on my threads, on my shorts. That was amazing. I can't believe we're at 1 million. Yeah, shout out to that. And also my subscribe count, I believe we are at 880 last time I checked. The vlog last week we were at 804, so that's almost 80 new subs. So I appreciate any new subs. Thank you so much for joining me every week and enjoying all my shorts. I appreciate you guys. Let's continue to build community here. Let's continue to stay positive, stay true to your morals, your values, and your principles because you are an MVP. And I'm out. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Tuesday at 2 p.m. Hopefully I'm on time. Bye guys. Take care. Bye.